Hello, Football-Oranje viewers. Latvia 0, Netherlands 1. Another win in World Cup qualifying, but not the best performance tonight. I'm Michael Statham. I'm joined by Mike Bell, the Football-Oranje editor. And I think this comment that's just come in live sort of sums it up, really. Wow, that was a terrible performance. Need the same energy that we saw against Turkey. Where was that tonight, Mike? The team was roughly the same as what we saw against Turkey, but there's a lot less energy, a lot less connection between the players. Whilst Latvia sat deep, and it doesn't suit the Netherlands when teams do that, wasn't a great watch.
No, I think the saying a win's a win, and that's what matters is what comes out tonight, and we move on. But yeah, it wasn't exactly the most inspiring performance, and I think Van Gaal said it in the press conference in midweek that these games aren't nice because Latvia is going to sit deep and then they're going to play on the counter, and they'll always have a chance to score, and that's nearly perfectly how it came out tonight. They sat back, frustrated Netherlands. Netherlands only got one goal, and then Latvia had the chances to get a point, and just at the end, Netherlands need Bio to make an excellent save, or you're leaving with 1-1. But yeah, a win's a win. There wasn't very many good performances out there. I think the midfield struggled. The attack wasn't really working that well. I think they did miss a presence in the box. It got better when Weghorst came on. And the defence had shaky moments, especially in the first half. There was a couple of chances that Latvia got. So overall, I can't really say that it was a great watch or a great performance, but getting out of Latvia with a win, the results elsewhere went Netherlands' way. So yeah, next game's to get Gibraltar at home, win that one big, and then the big games come in November because got away to Montenegro. If they play like that, then it could be a very different result.
Looking at the other games in the group, there was a draw tonight between Turkey and Norway. It sort of suits the Dutch, doesn't it? The fact Norway didn't win, but Norway are still very close to the Dutch, and if they can go to the Netherlands and win, then the Dutch are in big trouble again. Things can still change, and I think the Netherlands will raise their game for a visit of Norway, for example. Tonight, though, they created plenty of chances to win the game 2 or 3-0, but perhaps not to a level we saw, as we already said, against Turkey. Weghorst, when he came on, made a difference. You said it there. A couple of really nice chances. A lot of shots went just wide rather than in that corner to make the difference in the night. As that game went on, though, 1-0 going into the 60th minute, 70th minute, the 80th minute, you just knew that the chance was coming for Latvia. There was no way that they were just going to see it out by keeping the ball for those last 10 minutes. It was ball loss after ball loss and poor shot, at the end of it all. It just wasn't convincing tonight. I wonder whether that was a case of motivation, just getting the 3 points. But when that corner came in for the last chance for Latvia in stoppage time, and Biler had to make a save of that quality, it must have made you panic as well as me.
Oh yeah, you just knew it was going to happen. You just knew that there was going to be one heart racing moment, and yeah, thank God for Bio. He saved it tonight, and yeah, I think when you have that command and presence in goal, and since he's become the number one for Netherlands, he's not really put a foot wrong. And tonight again, he was excellent for that one save that he had to make. So you can say tonight that Bio's the hero because he's the one that's made sure that Netherlands got away with 3 points.
I want to talk about some of the individual performances. One of the people that makes the Netherlands tick is Frenkie de Jong. Dave says that Frenkie lost the ball so many times tonight. For me, not one of the best players on the pitch at all. He didn't. The little moments where you watch him off the ball as well, didn't seem to be that much in the mood for it. Or was it just me?
No, I think the whole midfield struggled. You could say that Klaassen got a goal, but just as a free just didn't work. And yeah, Frenkie lost the ball. Till didn't get involved at all, and Klaassen struggled to get involved except for the goal. So as a free, that's the main area that Van Gaal needs to work on, is finding some creativity in midfield, because when they do come up against a team that's just going to sit deep and hit on the counter, you need somebody that's going to be able to find that pass to open a defence, to unlock a defence, and Till, Klaassen and Frenkie de Jong just don't do that. And when you bring on somebody like Gravenberg, he also isn't that sort of number 10 that would do that. So they need to find that player that's going to be able to provide some creativity. And maybe it's Koopmeiners. Maybe he's the one that needs to get given a chance. I don't know why Van Gaal at the moment just seems to think that it's either Koopmeiners or Frankie, and both of them can't play together, because I'd like to see both of them on the same pitch for once.
And you've got players like Van der Beek who aren't even in the squad at the moment. He may have offered a bit more in a game like tonight because of what was needed to try and break Latvia down. Till has made a reputation at Final this season for scoring goals in the box and being a threat in the air, getting close to the main striker to offer that threat in the air. I don't think I remember one chance for him tonight where he was able to do that. He's not a creator. He's someone who gets in the end of chances.
Yeah, he's exactly the same sort of player as David Klaassen. He's one that pops up in the box and scores goals. So if you got to play both of them in the same midfield, it doesn't really make sense, because they're both the same type of player. They both want to be on the end of chances that are created in the box. Tonight it worked out for Klaassen. He got the goal. But until Klaassen in the field just doesn't work. You need somebody a bit different in there. And I think that Van Gaal realised that on the hour mark, where he brought in Gravenberch, and things sort of improved. And even Gravenberch had a chance to score as well that was blocked. But yeah, obviously Wijnaldum's going to come back into the midfield against Gibraltar, and you can't say that he's in form at the moment. But yeah, it's going to the World Cup next year. They need to find somebody that's going to be able to create chances in that midfield. That's the big thing for Van Gaal at the moment, because I think the defence will be more solid than they were tonight. They had a couple of errors, but you can usually count on them. And up front, they do have the players to score goals. Memphis got an assist tonight, didn't get a goal, but I thought that Gakpo was one of the bright sparks. I think he went close a couple of times, and I think that Noah Lang, when he came on, added something, and he created a couple of chances as well. So I think that he can look back on a decent debut. So I think the attack and the defence are fine. It's just the midfield that needs work.
Talked about some of the people that made the debut tonight. Lang was doing that. Till has come back into the fold after some time away. Gravenberch, when he came on, was okay. Missed his chance when he was presented with one. We didn't see Koopmeiners tonight. We didn't see Malacia. Didn't see Flecken, who's in the squad. I disagree with you recently, Mike. I think about this, that I want to see players like Malacia get game time in against teams like Latvia and from the start. And Gibraltar, again, is one of those opportunities. But I think you disagree with me the fact you want to see the main 11 play, apart from one or two different players, because you think that there's not enough games to get that rhythm before the World Cup. Do you still hold that point of view, or do you want to see some, 3 or 4 or 5 maybe different starters against Gibraltar?
I think that
because whatever team you play, they're going to get past Gibraltar.
Yeah, I mean, it is a good opportunity to give players a chance against Gibraltar, but then again, you got 2 massive games coming up next month against Montenegro and Norway, so you can't exactly be like, right, we'll just rest a few players and try something else, and then if it comes to November and it doesn't work and the players aren't clicking well, then you're in trouble, because those are the 2 big games. So there's an argument for resting some players and then giving some a chance. Against Gibraltar, you could see maybe De Ligt coming back in. Malacia at left back. You know what you get with Daily Blind, so it's not exactly needed in a game like that. But I wouldn't change too much, just because the players need to get used to each other and play into a pattern before 2 huge games next month.
Thanks everyone for giving all the comments in live, by the way. I'm sorry I won't be able to get them all on screen this evening. And if you're not watching live, do leave a comment after this stream has been on and let us know your thoughts on tonight's game. People commenting a lot on individual players and wanting to see different players in the team. I want to pick out this one about David Blink, because you mentioned him then. And it made me think about a couple of times tonight, he was really sloppy. I'm going to say again, I know what he gives to a team. He's brilliant on the ball usually, but there were times where Blint and Dumfries were really poor there. Like what's the word? I've forgotten the word. Anyway, their ball was rolling, and neither of them went to go and get in and get there and get the ball. They just sort of waited and held off, and then they didn't go and intercept the ball to keep it. It was a bit lazy again from the 2 of them. Blint put a couple of good crosses in. It was overlapping all the time at left back. But I still want to see Malacia there instead.
Yeah, I think that Malacia is the one for the future. I think Wijndal's coming back into form for AZ as well, so there's options at left back. But Van Gaal loves Daley Blind. It seems to be a Netherlands manager just can't seem to drop him at the moment. They have to try and shoehorn him in. Yesterday I had a feeling that maybe you'd have put him in midfield, but he stuck him at left back, and yeah, he is vulnerable at left back. He does have the ability to possibly pick out a pass, and he is a good passer, but his speed and general play as a defender aren't that great anymore. So he has a vulnerability at times, especially on a counter with his pace, but I don't think he's one that's going to be dropped by Van Gaal, because I think he sees him as too important. Until that time comes where he makes a mistake and then you can't really afford to keep him in there anymore, then he's going to get dropped out. But none of the mistakes he made tonight were crucial. So as long as he's around and he's fit and he's playing, I can still see Van Gaal playing him, whether we want to see that or not. There's another thing, Malacia and Wijndal will knock on the door, but Van Gaal is a man that likes experience and likes the players that he likes, and Blind's one of them.
I'm going to put this question up because this fella's been asking a few of them tonight. Who's a playmaker in this team? Klaassen is a prime Iniesta for now, but can't see him continuing his form for a long period. He also asked about Gravenberch, about his awards that he's been nominated for. The midfield was a problem tonight. So what can Klaassen and Gravenberch do better? Klaassen was exceptional against Turkey. So is he someone who stays at midfield now, and because of performances like that, he's got the potential? Or do games like tonight change your mind on him?
No, I think Klaassen stays in there. He got a goal tonight. He scored against Turkey. I think that the whole setup tonight wasn't suited to him. I think having Till in there wasn't his fault. I think Klaassen stays in there because he's earned that. The only problem with Klaassen is that he's lost his place at Ajax. So until if he doesn't replace Berghuis as number 10 at Ajax, then Van Gaal has a problem, because he's picking somebody that isn't playing, and that's meant to be one of his big key points, is you have to be playing to get picked for this national team. So then, Berghuis becomes an option at 10. Van Gaal got asked about it this week. He doesn't seem to be that keen on it because he says that he doesn't have enough wingers. But the way that Berghuis has been playing recently for Ajax as a 10 makes him a possibility, because he's been creating chances and scoring goals for Ajax. So why wouldn't you try him out if that's what's missing from the midfield? So that's an interesting option going forward. As the game against Gibraltar comes on, I can see it being Frenkie, Wijnaldum, and Klaassen in the midfield. So Gravenberch, he just needs to put more of a stamp on the games. Maybe isn't that sort of player that would put through defence cutting passes and create chance after chance. But for me, this needs to be more to his game to really take him to that next level. Yeah, he's been nominated for awards as one of the best young players around. He's still up for the Golden Boy award, but so is Hatterin, so he's still in the mix. So I think that if you're a youngster playing for Ajax week in, week out, and you're his age, then you will get nominated for these awards. But I think that Gravenberch is a player that we expect more of if he's going to get that to that next level and become that elite midfielder that everyone expects him to be.
Yeah, I just want to mention about Hurtado. If you want to hear a bit more about him, I interviewed Joel Perot, and that's going to be out on Football-Oranje website really, really soon. And he spoke about him and said about how he just needs to change his ways. How interesting that he's still picked for these sort of awards. Yeah, he had a great season under Van Bommel, don't mind. Anyway, back to the game tonight, and I think you're acting very relaxed, Mike, considering the result it was. It was only a 1-0 win and could easily have been 1-1 with that chance at the end. Are you relaxed because the Netherlands did create chances and could easily have won this game 3-0 and this wouldn't have been a concern? Or are you actually quite furious actually with the result and performance tonight because it's a step back from what we've been seeing from them earlier this year?
I'm not furious. I'm not angry. They dominated the game. Yeah, it wasn't great. They won, and that's the main thing. These are sticky games, and international period in Netherlands of old, this is a game that they probably would have drawn 1-1. This is a game that they probably would have dropped points in under, Danny Blind, or I guess I think under the last World Cup qualifying campaign. To get away with a 1-0 win tonight, and they're going to beat Gibraltar, so that's 6 points towards the World Cup, and they got a 2-point cushion on Norway tonight. Norway have got Montenegro next. That's a tough game. If Norway don't win that, if that turns into a draw, then you're looking at Netherlands having a 4-point cushion. Yeah, that's right, a 4-point cushion going into the games in November. Then Netherlands would only need one win from their last two games. So for me, the main thing tonight was a win. They got it, and we move on. Every national team has a bad performance in them, and you just have to sometimes go, right, that's fair, and get on with it. Latvia have caused shocks in this group. They went away to Turkey and got a free draw. They've drawn against Montenegro. They could have scored tonight, but they didn't. So, a win's a win. So, yeah, I'm not angry. I'm not furious. We can play better. There's a lot of players tonight that need to step up, and there's a lot of them playing tonight that aren't having that great a time with their clubs at the moment. So there's just players that are just not in form at the moment. So yeah, there's a lot to improve, but I wouldn't start saying that this is a turning point on Van Gaal and we should start criticising him, because I don't think that's the case. His record stands at 3 wins and a draw from 4 games. So I'm very happy with that. If De Boer would be in charge, would have had that by now? Probably not. So I mean, right now we're talking about Netherlands being 2 points clear at the top of the World Cup group, and we're mourning about it. So I mean, I'm happy, and yeah, I can see that win against Gibraltar, and then seal that qualification next month. Even tonight, what's crucial is the fact that they got a 2-point cushion on Norway, but they now have a 4-point cushion on Turkey. So even if it did all go wrong, then it's still very, very likely that Netherlands would finish second and get a playoff spot. So worst case scenario would be playoffs, and best case scenario to win the group, which is the most likely scenario. So yeah, it's just one of these wins that didn't go amazingly tonight, but it didn't go disastrously. So you take the win and you move on. That's just my main message for tonight. Just look forward to the Gibraltar game where it could be 8-9-0, and then we'll be very happy about this.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, forgive me for playing devil's advocate there. I mean, I'm also in the same sort of situation as yourself, where I don't really put these super high expectations on the Netherlands anymore, because they're not the best team in the world, and they're in amongst the top sort of 10, I guess you could say, on paper. Forget the FIFA rankings. They're a very good team, but not a brilliant team. And I agree with you. Had Frank de Boer still been in charge, there's no way they would have got 10 points out of those 4 games. They may have dropped points in a game like tonight, and they could easily have lost against Norway. So I'm pleased overall with what Van Gaal is doing. And if he's not happy with the performance tonight, you're sure that he'll sort that out. And it doesn't really matter what happens against Gibraltar. I don't think it matters who the coach is, because they're going to win the match. It depends how many goals they get. The only thing I would say is I agree with the comment from Martijn that it's, again, a lower block side that the Dutch find it hard to play against. They find it really hard to create these clear openings to score goals. When it's open like the Turkey game, that's when they can go and score 6. Let's have a look at the comments. Mateus says that Hapo hasn't convinced him again, and Danjuma definitely deserves a chance based off his club form. In the run-up to these 2 games, Mike, I noticed on Twitter you talked a lot about Lang, Danjuma, Hapo. What are your thoughts on those 3 guys who can play in the wing? I guess we're going to have Berghuis that category too. Is it still for you, Hapo and Berghuis? Are they the 2 best attacking wings at the moment, or are they the best of a bad bunch? What are your thoughts?
I think I wouldn't say it's a bad bunch, because I'd say that Netherlands now have wingers that are exciting and major prospects. So I love Cody Gakpo. I think he's a great player. And I thought he did all right tonight, and especially in the first half, he went close a couple of times. There's improvement needed, but you can say that about every single player on the pitch tonight. So I think Gakpo is a player that's going to be great for Netherlands in the future, and one that's very exciting. I think that Noah Lang came off the bench and had great moments, and I think that he's another player that has something different, and is a bit special. And we've talked about Netherlands lacking forwards the past few years, and it seems that they now have a crop that's coming through that's actually very exciting with Akpo, Lang, and Danjuma, who for me should have been in the squad. I would have picked him over Luke de Jong. I don't really know what he achieved from putting Luke de Jong in the squad over somebody like Danjuma, who's exploded since he's joined Villarreal, and he'll definitely be in the squad next month if he keeps up the form that he's been playing with. So I think that Netherlands now have wingers that are very exciting, and they just need to try and find a pairing that works with Memphis. Gakpo works. Berghuis has his on and off days. Again, maybe try him out of 10 and play with somebody like Lang there, see how that works. So I think Van Gaal has options. So I'm happy with the wingers going forward. So it's just exciting to be able to talk about special players again, because gone are the times where it's Ryan Babel on the left and Quincy Promes on the right. And that's excluding Steven Bergwijn as well, who was actually coming into some good form with Tottenham, and he played well against Turkey as well before he got injured. So yeah, the wingers are there, and I think they're all pretty strong for me.
Yeah, they look like very promising players. Gakpo is at the start of this ultimate breakthrough with PSV. He's doing well there. Now we're seeing him become one of the best players in the league, and going on from there, can he achieve abroad, or will he do a Bergwijn and be a bit average with Spurs? And we'll see whether he'd still make it in England. A few comments to sort of wrap up the show. Another Michael, all the Michaels like watching the Netherlands play. It's been a problem for years watching the Netherlands against weaker teams because of the wall of defenders that they have. He also asked whether the 4-3-3 formation will keep. I would imagine so. I don't see any reason why that would change. Maton was asking whether we talked about Frenkie de Jong in the show. We did indeed. Do flip back and have a little listen. Mouse down. Danjuma should be in the squad, but I'm a fan of Gakpo too. Personally, a bit worried about going to another tournament with Gini, Memphis, and Frenkie. On a good day, they're a 9 out of 10. On a bad day, a 3 out of 10. A bit harsher on the three of them. Memphis has scored a lot of goals for Netherlands over the past, I don't know how long, a year or so. And Frenkie has always been very good. Tonight wasn't so good at all. And Wijnaldum always comes up with important goals, especially in qualifiers, it has to be said, but he does come up with the goals. So let's not be too harsh on those guys. They have been carrying the national side in a period where they've not had lots of world class players, and they are just the best that are around at the moment. Any last thoughts on the game, Mike? Before we play Gibraltar,
I think against Gibraltar, then you're looking at another team that's going to sit back, but I think that they don't have the quality that Latvia have. And not that Latvia aren't a quality side, but defensively and midfield are not going to be as organised as they were tonight. So the chances are going to come thick and fast against Gibraltar. It's just taking them. They're wasteful tonight, and I think the main thing from Monday, what we want is chances and rack up some goals.
Yeah.
And paired with a Montenegro result against Norway would be the absolute perfect end to the international period, and then looking back on our 2 wins and basically a big step towards the World Cup. So fill your boots against Gibraltar, score some goals, get some confidence, and take that into November. That's the main thing.
And try and get that first goal before half time this time, because it came so late.
Wow, horrific. Yeah.
Someone's already predicted 5-0 in the comments. Leave your predictions for the game. How many goals are they going to get? Will they keep a clean sheet? Do let us know. Thanks everyone for watching this though, and of course there will be another match reaction after the Gibraltar game, so do stay tuned for that. We'll be at full time then too. We'll do some more in November too when the other games come up, and between now and then I should have got up the Joel Perreault interview, so if you ever followed him with PSV and Swansea, you can check that out really soon. But from us two, it's a good evening or good afternoon wherever in the world you're watching, and we'll see you after the game against Gibraltar.